Good morning, everybody. We're back at the Pork and Greens farm on another beautiful day. We've really been having some nice weather here lately. I had someone ask me the other day about cover crops, and if I could give a kind of a brief explanation of what a cover crop is and why we're using them and how we're using them. And I figured this would be a good time to let you guys in on that, as we're still waiting on pigs to be farrowed. So cover crops, we're actually standing in a field that was our garden last year. And this is a cover crop that's been sown to ryegrass and a clover mix. And what a cover crop is, and what purpose it serves, is it's any type of grass or grain or legume that you sow in order to, one, you want to prevent soil erosion. You don't want your topsoil being blown off your fields in the wind. And two is you want to suppress weeds. So if we had left this field just bare soil until next spring, I can guarantee you it would be just one big weed patch. So as soon as the gardening's over, we like to get a cover crop sown as quickly as possible. And what we've sown here, this field in particular, is like I said, is rye grass and a clover mixture. But as far as cover crops, you don't have to do a combination. You can just sow strictly a grass. It really needs to be an annual grass or a legume. Or if you want to do a combination, we do a combination because we also rotate pigs in our garden plots, and so we want to have something for the pigs to graze as soon as this ryegrass dies out. If you're just strictly gardening, that's not necessary, although using the legume like clovers or alfalfas is a good way to put a lot of nitrogen back into your soil. You can actually, let me see if I can get down here and zoom in. You can actually see clover mixed in with the ryegrass here, and it's starting to get its true leaves. So we got it in the ground early enough. Normally this time of year, it's too late. It's too late to sow. You need to sow you can sow the ryegrass really anytime, but as far as if you're going to use a clover or alfalfa, that needs to be in the ground really no later than the middle of October to give it time to get established before you start having any freezes, which we've been lucky so far. It's been pretty mild, and so the clover has gotten off to a good start. But on the subject of clovers, if you're gonna use a clover as part of a cover crop mix, you want to make sure that it's inoculated. And by inoculated, it just means inoculation is a substance they put on the seed, or you can put it on if you prefer to inoculate the seed yourself. That is what allows the clover or alfalfa to fix nitrogen in the soil. Without the inoculate, it's not going to fix any nitrogen, and that's it's a cheap way to put a lot of nitrogen in your ground, especially if you're trying to grow things organically the way we are. So we always buy our seed pre-inoculated. To me, it's just a lot easier. There's no mess and hassle of trying to inoculate the seed. But some seeds it's hard to find. If you wanted to use a vetch, for instance, which is a really good cover crop, it's hard to find vetch seed that's pre-inoculated, so you almost always have to inoculate it yourself. But because we're concerned with grazing as well, we like to stick with the clovers and alfalfa, and it's pretty easy to find pre-inoculated seed. But that's what we're doing here on our farm. You can look back over here if the sun's not too terribly bright, and this is a field that was seeded about a month later, and this is actually in rye grain and clover. And the reason we prefer the rye grain, but when we first seeded this field, there wasn't any rye grain available yet. It just wasn't available to purchase, so we decided to go with the ryegrass. But we would probably always stick with rye grain when it's available. It's just it tolerates cold, and it grows pretty tall. It's a good weed smotherer. But the ryegrass works good as well. So that's kind of a brief summary on the cover crops and what we're doing. And as you can see, if you look at this field, there's no weeds in it. It's pretty much just one solid thick mass of rye. And so, you know, that's the way we want the field to be set up for the winter time, so we're good to go here. And hopefully by the time the pigs are moved back into this pasture, which will be year after next, the rye, the annual rye will of course be gone, and this should be just one thick lush pasture of solid clover and alfalfa. And that's what we're looking for. But anyway, I hope that answered some questions, and hopefully any day now we'll be getting some pigs on the ground, and we'll be able to show you guys some videos of newly farrowed pigs. Thanks for now. We'll see you later.